midst of a seasonal anime landscape, two chart-topping powerhouses rise above the rest. In one corner, a tale that pierces into the depths of your very heart, a series that challenges the impact of human capabilities and the consequences they leave behind. And in the other corner, some elf. I'm kidding. Hi, I'm Inakyu, your local weeb who hasn't really been on that upload grind because I've been watching some shows. I've been watching anime, and during my little hiatus, during that time, I've been obsessing over two anime that everyone's already talked about before. Frieren Beyond Journey's End and the Apothecary Diaries, where the two main characters of these shows are women, well-written women. So of course, as somebody who likes talking about the female protagonists of anime, everyone wants to know, what do I think? What does Inakyu think? I'm wearing freckles and elf ears, so what do you think I think? There's something so special about these shows, clearly. I'm late to the party, but I just want to appreciate the writing of well-written female characters when I see it. When you Google female characters in anime, you tend to see the same girls, the same 10 girls and the same 10 takes repeated over and over again. Like, of course, I'm talking about making fun of Sakura, talking about the fan service in One Piece, and slandering girls' usefulness in shows. Hell, I even come up on this search because I feel like a female-led series wouldn't do bad. Just because a genre translates to young boys or to young men, that guys shouldn't be scared to follow a story with a female protagonist. They shouldn't think that a show isn't for them just because a girl is the main character. And Frieren and the Apothecary Diaries did just that. With little to no fan service, mind you. Like there was so little to no fan service in these shows that the fan base is coping with an armpit. An armpit, which is so funny. Like, Frieren and Maomao are just amazing characters. The other girls in their cast have as much depth and if not more than them, and I think that's just a testament to good writing, period. What is that? What is good writing? How do we articulate that? How do we point that out? Well, luckily for you in this video, I'm gonna try to figure it out. Just much. Hello? Isn't this cool? Look, I'm on screen. I'm on the wall. Yeah, I'm trying to use the projector right now, so, yeah, don't your viewers want to know more about it? Like, don't gatekeep this. I'm not trying to gatekeep the projector, but if you want to talk about it, I would love to talk about this projector. BenQ sent me this awesome projector that, like I said, has been such a beast for recording and watching movies with lately. Like, believe it or not, I use it every day now. This is BenQ's GP100A portable projector that has been so amazing for me. And yeah, I don't even watch stuff off of a TV anymore. This projector just replaced it because of how big the screen can be, and literally it has all the programs that I use to watch stuff in it. It has Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus built in it, and also you can add whatever apps you use to stream movies and shows. Yeah, Crunchyroll too. Movie nights in my place are just a whole new experience, and yeah, I get to make cool PowerPoints with this. Like, it takes the watching experience to a whole new level. Playing video games too. Like, guys, it has a USB-C port on the side so I can plug in my Switch without the dock. Oh yeah, and also it's a portable projector, so you actually can just use a power bank to power this up and bring it with you, which is really, really neat. It has an HDMI port if you want to connect to your laptop, and it has amazing speakers, like with subwoofers. I don't have a speaker attached to this as I watch TV with it. Like, the audio is good and the picture quality is so crispy with clear colors that just pop, and it has 1,000 lumens for brightness, and my favorite absolute thing is the autofocus that comes with this projector. It automatically adjusts to your wall, and you can just adjust the size too with the remote. That's what I use for my videos. Right now you can grab the BenQ GP100A off of Amazon or off their website, and y'all, as someone who uses projectors a lot, this one is literally the best one I've used by far. Definitely check BenQ out. You won't regret it, and let's get back to the video. Nuanced characterization. What does that mean? Let's first start with Frieren. This is Gen Z's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, What can I say? She took the #1 spot on my anime list and claimed it. This elf dethroned the FMA fans, and I think that's justified. This rating is like the biggest bait and switch you can get from an anime fan. Like, when you think of the most popular anime, you'd think of Battle Shonen, the JJKs, the Demon Slayers, the Full Metal Alchemists, and no. We got an anime where the slice of life moments are the best parts in the show, and honestly, I think that's beautiful. Frieren is somehow mother, but also baby at the same time. Real quick to sum it up if you haven't seen it yet, this anime follows an elf girl that just got done saving the world with her friends, and for those who don't have any fantasy knowledge, elves live a very, very long time. Unlike humans, where we're lucky to see the age of 80. Elves can live thousands of years, so like a mere 10 years of saving the world with her homies isn't that much time to Frieren. It's like a random Tuesday evening getting like a victory royale with the boys for 2 hours in VC, and that's it. It's getting a dub and hopping off for the night. But as members of her party pass away and get old, where Frieren, an elf stays frozen through their genetics. Frieren realizes that she might have taken the time in the VC for granted, time spent with her friends for granted. Someone who looks at time as eternal could not possibly understand why you hold on to moments while they're happening, why your friends would want to watch a sunrise together. The sun rises and sets every day for thousands of years, but it's another to do it with the people that matter to you most. Frieren is strong, trained under the best of the best mages, tells another woman to kill herself, and just her aura knows no bounds. Frieren just emanates overpowered badassery and holds herself kind of emotionless on the surface. Something I love about Frieren's character specifically is how in-depth her identity as an elf is. In fantasy writing, to even creating a character for D&D, people pick an elf attribute without a thought, but the mangaka uses this as a pitfall and vessel to explore Frieren's character and how she'll grow throughout her story. As an elf who's so used to apathy, we see Frieren learn to empathize and express care and love in the moment. It's like a journey to find a lost aspect of her warmth and femininity, buying and cherishing accessories, jewelry for her friends, giving support and reassurance when someone needs to hear it. Honestly, in a lot of anime growing up, or even in Western media, I see a lot of girls shed their femininity as an act of growth or change to be more badass as a protagonist. Not to say that it's bad, but for a character on this journey of understanding, yet is just trying her best, I feel is so nuanced and gives such a great drive to Frieren's story. This is what I mean by utilizing characterization to give it depth. Little do I ever see writers really explore character traits to guide choices. The author even stated that Frieren Beyond Journey's End was originally conceived as a gag manga with storyboards for a one-shot featuring a comical fighter named Frieren. However, after reading the one-shot in its entirety, the author decided that it wasn't a comedy and instead made Frieren an immortal elf who grows and matures throughout a story. Like, isn't that so cool? Okay, I'm yapping, I get it, but like, just so if you don't get what I mean, it's more that the fact that she's an elf restricts her from even considering time that she spends with people in her life. So like, the restriction equals a problem, and the problem is a place for her to grow, which equals struggle, which equals human emotions, which equals relatable and well done character. This could also be seen with the other awesome female lead in the show, Fern, Frieren's apprentice. Also, did you know that my name is actually supposed to be Inuyaka, but I like misspelled it and just ran with it? I didn't even notice for a while. I just had a lot of different names like Inuyasha, Inayaku, now Inakyu. Mostly also because I like Mimikyu. And my mom calls me Ina. Anyway, Fern's character, who despite being human, is also seemingly emotionless. But of course, it's because the seemingly emotionless Frieren raised her. An elf that never actually explodes with anger or excitement, never showing acts of happiness or love really intensely. Of course, unless it's to her quirky niche interest of collecting spells. But like, how did the fan base fall in love with a slice of life anime where our two main characters have a resting bitch face 80% of the time? Like, they both kind of have the same archetype of stoic, compelling character. But despite that, Fern has her own voice and is her own driving force in this series through the detail that she's human. She is so aware of her mortality, knowing that she doesn't have that much time on this earth. This is especially seen when the show actually spells out both of our characters' flaws in the episode where they're lured into a forest by monsters. These monsters can take the appearance of the most important people in their lives. For Fern, it's her adoptive father, Heiter. For Frieren, to her surprise, it's Himmel. Fern is aware that this is a monster trying to play with her emotions, but Fern can't let go of her grief and loved ones. She hesitates before killing it. This shows that she lets her feelings hold her back, while Frieren, on the other hand, Frieren lacks any understanding of human connection and just wipes Himmel out of the forest without any hesitation. Fern has a strong drive to achieve things quickly. She became a mage on a time clock before Heiter's death. She may not live as long as Frieren, but as a mage, she'll go even further than Frieren ever will, and we easily believe that and root for Fern on top of it all. We believe that she's capable, especially because we see her by herself without Frieren's help. And then despite that, her incredibly relatable moments of getting mad at Stark and expecting him to rise to the occasion and getting all happy after a sweet treat is, I don't know, it's great. Fern is such a well-rounded character, and I love her. From effectively taking details of a character, like their species, and using that to push the narrative and their arcs further, it's just so lovely to see in writing, and that aspect is even more prevalent in a show that I'm even more obsessed with, the Apothecary Diaries. Biggest slept on show for real. Like, if you haven't gotten to it, get to it, because it just got renewed for a season 2. Let's go. Just come on, where to begin? This show is its peak. It's lovely. It's a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery that takes place in such a unique setting, and it follows an even more unique character to make it all the more interesting. Let me introduce you to Maomao. Maomao likes drugs. She actually loves drugs. Medicinal ones, to the point where, like, it's a bit psychotic, to the point where she experiments with poison on herself. Yeah, she like wears a bandage because she does it so often to build up a poison tolerance, to understand how poisons work. Like, she's insane. Throughout the whole series, Maomao battles ignorance and superstition through her knowledge of science and medicine. Like, it's so cool to witness. So, like, her character aside, it's really important to know that the story takes place in Imperial China, where she, an apothecary, gets kidnapped and is forced to work as a servant in the Emperor's concubine palace. And working in the Emperor's palace, where a servant girl like her, she can literally just get killed for any wrongdoing. Even being too noticeable can cost Maomao her life, and she's so aware of it, painfully aware of it. And so the way that she has to navigate surviving all of it, all while solving a mysterious case in the story, is really, really hypnotizing. Maomao is smart, witty, quirky, honestly, just like me. Literally, Maomao, most of all, above anything else, is competent in what she does. And she's not like psychotic, really into her research like Hanji from Attack on Titan. She's actually a lot like Frieren and collecting magical spells. Very stoic and emotionless on the surface outside of her weird hyperfixation, but it's not just because of her archetype of like, ooh, the quiet girl, or like a kudere, an archetype that gets slapped on a character to get a romantic like love interest out there. Both Frieren and Maomao aren't an archetype. They're like this because of their circumstances. Frieren is an elf, and elves are more reserved by nature, and we see the effects of that in her show, where Maomao is a woman, and that could cost her her life. If she acts out, she has to blend in, be cold, be unnoticeable, and while that's her reality, she's still so curious and interested in the world around her. You can't help but fall in love with who she is as a character. The fact that she's a woman just adds so much depth that can get explored without feeling unearned through the plot. Maomao is so cool. I'm trying to articulate it. She's quirky. She doesn't seem to care about anything outside of her drugs, but like, not in a sense of she's not like other girls. She's actually for the girls. My favorite part about this show is how she supports other women and how other women support each other throughout this show. She's not a main character that everyone likes, and she doesn't like everyone. A lot of the time she's annoyed by other people, but she doesn't let that get in the way of how she treats others. Like bitch slapping the servant that poisoned the concubine, and then teaching them all the stuff that she's learned from the brothel she grew up in. It's lovely. It's great. And yet the show is also so haunting and dark. I didn't realize the microphone was spinning around while I talk. There's a moment where Maomao hears of a certain character, and then it just flashes an expression on the screen, and it's so chilling. Honestly, if you forgot, I'm going to reiterate that the Apothecary Diaries is a fully fledged seinen manga. The way that it's written and crafted is it's a seinen, but because of how prevalent the female characters are, you might assume that it's a shoujo, but it's a seinen manga. The story in the show itself is great. I didn't even get to the main plot or to like the world building, but this video is about uplifting the girlies and just like why I like these girlies in their shows and their writing. So like, I don't know. I love the Apothecary Diaries. If you want another dedicated video on it, I can go on. I really could. Both Frieren and Maomao have won my heart, and I hope yours too. If you've only seen Frieren and have not checked out the Apothecary Diaries, do yourself a favor and go watch it. Though they're honestly very different shows, but both of them are a great time. If you've seen these shows, please leave a comment on some things that I might have missed on why you like their characters. Also, go check out BenQ. Get yourself an awesome projector. Like, look at my setup now. It's so cool. I love this projector so much. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all of it, none of it, whatever you want. It's not like I care anything.